He's off.
And now it's time for Coz's Cap Crunch.
And that's what happens when we leave the studio. These two palookas come up with some sort of intro. And now it's time for the Cap Crunch. Well, look, let's go there. The Broncos, salary caps, it's something everyone's got to deal with. They get the same amount of money. 16, 17 clubs get the same amount of money. They got to come up and pay these players. Now, the Broncos, and I've said this and we've all talked about it, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can weigh in on it also. 13 55, come and talk to me. Or 0467 736 736. Now, as it stands right now, Heels, so free agents, that meaning people can talk to as of now. Free agents at the Brisbane Broncos, Adam Reynolds, Katoni Staggs, Selwyn Cobbo, Kobe Hetherington, Fletcher Baker, Jack Gojewski, Deloise Hoyter, Jaden Hunt, Corey Jensen, Israel Leota, Karapani, Corey Pakes, Martin Tapau. Okay?
That's 13.
That's free agents. Now, that means they can go and talk to other clubs and go for a play for another club next year. Now, free agents as of November 1, Payne Haas, Billy Walters, Jesse Arthurs, Kobe Black, Jock Madden, Josh Rogers, Gamut Shibasaki. Now, we've got some long-term players that have been tied up. Ezra Mams tied up to 2029. Paddy Carrigan to 2028. Jordan Ricky to 27. Reece Walsh to 29. And Xavier Willison to 27. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Katoni Staggs is on the verge, I believe, of signing a 3-year deal. Katoni Staggs at the moment is on $700K, around about there.
But really keen to be a Bronco.
Yeah, you can say all those sort of one-liners.
But they might have to play 1.1. They might be able to pay 900.
Listen, you can say all the one-liners you want. Ultimately, it comes down to what they're getting paid. Katoni Staggs on 700. I believe he's going north. They're saying in around 850.
Oh, well, I said 900.
Okay. 850. So he's gone up. So if he's on 7, he's gone up. So he's taken up 150 extra. Okay?
Yes.
Adam Reynolds is on 550, I believe, right now. Now, if Adam Reynolds was to go to open market, I think easily, given what we've seen unfold over the last couple of weeks, easily, without even too much negotiation at all, he gets 700. We agree with that?
I think it probably in market.
Yes.
In market, yes.
Okay. So the Broncos aren't in a position, I believe, to offer Adam Reynolds 700. Okay, so you put a question mark next to Adam Reynolds' name. You go to Kobe Hetherington, who is off at the moment. He's on 450. Now, if Kobe Hetherington continues to go down the path that he goes, and you see him as a long-term future player at the club, you then have to up his contract and extend him. Kobe Hetherington.
Righto.
So let's say he's on 450. Say you want to up his contract, he has to go to 550.
Plus 100.
Okay, so now we're up 250. Yes?
250 plus Reno.
Fletcher Baker, who was bought across from the Roosters, is on $300,000. Now, whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, around about 6 to 7 players every year from the top 30 squad move on. That's just how the turnover goes. So some of these players I go through aren't going to be at the club next year. Now, Fletcher Baker's on $300,000 at the moment. We haven't seen a lot of him play in first grade. Jack Gojewski, who has played left back row for the Broncos all 4 games, doing a great job. He's on $150,000. So if you want and see Jack Gojewski to play another year, another 2 years at the Brisbane Broncos, like he's doing, he has to go north of 150.
300?
He has to go, let's say 300.
Plus
if you're a starting
150.
back row in the NRL, let's go 300. Okay? Jaden Hunt, apparently is on about 200K. Haven't seen a lot of Jaden Hunt. Let's just, maybe he doesn't find a role. Corey Pakes is on 300. He's been in terrific form. If he wants to stay at the club, he's got to be extended and go north. Now, where does Corey Pakes go from 300? Let's call it 450. Starting hooker at the Brisbane Broncos, you say he's around 450. Martin Tapau's are on 225, they say. Maybe he's at the end of his career and he doesn't get another opportunity at the Brisbane Broncos. The big ones are here. Payne Haas, who's currently on $1.1 million and absolutely worth at 1.1. Now, does he stay at Brisbane for 1.1 moving forward and get locked up for a long-term deal, or does he have to get increased to stay at Brisbane? That's a question mark. Ezra Mam is on about 800 or 900. Paddy Carrigan's on about 900. Reece Walsh is on 1.2. These are players that are already part of the cap. Xavier Willison's on about 500. So you need to start to identify who is part of the Broncos, what do they look like moving forward, and how much are we going to pay them. So Haas is an enormous one. So if Haas goes to market, Heals, given what we've seen, what does he command on the open market? Maybe 1.2, maybe 1.3, maybe 1.4 or 5, depending on who wants to buy him. Billy Walters, who's on 300, I believe, at the moment. Does he stay around? Has he got an opportunity at the Broncos to pursue his career and move forward? Jesse Arthurs, he'd be thinking, well, I've been playing some pretty good football of late. I'm on 325. I need to go north. So everyone's generally going up. Not too many of them go, you know what, I've had an ordinary year. Happy to take a bit less this year. Kobe Black, 180K. Jock Madden, 250. So does Jock have a spot at the Broncos moving forward? If you've got a Kobe Black, if you've got a Josh Rogers, Gamut Shipasaki on $130,000, come with a bit of a pie and a Coke, do your best and hope things go well. He's been outstanding. Now they will offer him, I would believe, a multi-year contract, and what you would think easy. 300, yep. So you're going to double his wage, 300 to 400K moving forward for him.
300 to 400, you reckon my figures?
So this is the conundrum. But
so you have saved 1.45 million here.
Well, the thing is,
right, so far,
I go to Adam Reynolds, Katoni Staggs. We've touched on Selwyn Cobbo. That's the big one. I don't think the Broncos can afford to lose a Selwyn Cobbo. Now, if Selwyn Cobbo, and I've said this openly, was to go to open market, he gets $1 million. That's my opinion, based on his potential, the positions he can play, etc., etc. Now, for the Broncos to keep a Selwyn Cobbo, they have to go. If he's on 600 now, Heals, they have to go up to 8s. Have to.
Yes.
Let's
go 9.
Okay, so let's go 9.
Will he stay for 9?
Of course he would. I believe he would.
Oh, okay.
But how does that look? How does that look across 30 players?
Okay, that's 1.425, right? So this is include the pluses where you've had to go up, and are 1.450, and that's including 150 to Reno at the moment, right? Then
that's only on 13 players that are available.
Yeah, good
that's
call.
Not taking in the rest of them that are still on.
And you've
deals.
saved 1.425.
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up that way. I haven't got all 30 players on the books here at the moment, but some players will not be there. There's a Karapani's Day, there's a Jaden Hunt, there's a Deloise Hoyter, there's a Fletcher Baker,
Blake Moser,
there's a Martin Tapau, and Blake Moser's just been re-signed. So there's this conundrum that they find themselves in. We asked Mel Meninga a little bit earlier about the Adam Reynolds. If he, do they have the opportunity to sign Adam Reynolds, or are they banking on the fact that Ben Hunt is at the club, that he can stay and move forward, given the fact that they've signed him for 2 more years? Love to know your thoughts. 0467 736 736 or 13 13 55.